Hello and welcome to Ben the Knee, Song of Ice and Fire podcast. I am Sir Matt the Bud Knight. Guys, a little bit of news here. This came out the other day. Now I talked about this last week. There was a little bit of an update that George R. Martin did on his personal page, right? Not a blog. And he was talking about some of the new shows and books that were coming out. And then we kind of got an official announcement here. We are getting a book called The Rise of the Dragon. It's going to be sort of an illustrated version of Fire and Blood, and it's going to be from the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be in the same line as The World of Ice and Fire, right? That big, thick orange book, that sort of coffee table book with all of the pictures and everything. And here are two of the covers. So this is like the US cover and this is the UK cover. And I can't actually decide which one I like more, to be entirely honest. They're both really, really, really cool. But just looking at the artwork, it's going to be, this is what it's going to end up looking like. It's going to end up looking sort of the same as the World of Ice and Fire book, right? Where it's text and big, big, big pictures. And it looks, I guess it's like almost like a tome, right? Because it's got that sort of nice kind of soft cover, even though it's hard. I really, really, really love that book. In fact, I like it way more than I like Fire and Blood, even though a lot of the information that's in Fire and Blood is in the World of Ice and Fire book. There's a lot of carryover from that into that book. And I just think that they read very differently. Fire and Blood I like, and it does have illustrations as well. They're those nice hand-drawn paper ones. It's just kind of dry. I've tried reading it 100 times. And I mean, I'm familiar with the information through the wiki and a lot of those novellas that got pulled into it. But it's, to me, it's just such a dry book. Honestly, I just get bored with it. So I think this sort of different take on it with these sort of, and I'm sure there's going to be new information in here as well. But it's going to be this nice big coffee table book. Now, the interesting thing about this, what really makes this book so interesting is that it is being sort of called a companion piece to House of the Dragon. And it's coming out October 25th. You can actually pre-order it right now. I already did. I think it was $60 on Amazon. But the interesting thing is that it's being described by the publishers as a companion piece to House of the Dragon. So we still don't know exactly when House of the Dragon is going to launch. It looks like early indications that they just finished filming in February, right? That, you know, you have to do visual effects, all of those things. It was looking like, hey, maybe July is when we're going to get this, because, you know, do they want to stack it up in September against Lord of the Rings? Probably not. So I would say October seems to be a pretty legitimate time if we're getting this book and it's being described as a companion piece. October sort of makes sense too. Maybe we get our first big trailer after the teaser we got last year in at Comic-Con, and then you have all of the publishing power and everything going towards October, where there's not a lot of other big shows going on. Like the Mandalorian season 3 is probably going to be like December or early January. Wheel of Time isn't going to be out this coming year. There's the Witcher, I think, prequel show is late this year or early next year as well. So it's going to be, looks like it's going to be pretty wide open for House of the Dragon to just sort of come in and dominate. But I would say the book itself looks awesome, and I'm very, very excited for it because I love the World of Ice and Fire book. And it's just going to give us all sorts of new illustrations and pictures and everything. So that in itself is good. Because I love, obviously, all of the art that we get. It sort of helps expand the world. And at the same time, we're getting this piece, right? That's described as a companion to House of the Dragon. So if House of the Dragon does come out around Halloween, I'm fine with that, to go from Halloween, 10 episodes. So one a week. So we'll be finishing up in December, right? Sometime. So yeah, that could be super, super awesome. So here's what he's saying. So he says, we're excited to announce The Rise of the Dragon, a lavish visual history of House Targaryen, the iconic family at the heart of HBO's Game of Thrones prequel series, House of the Dragon, featuring over 180 all new illustrations. For those of you who are wondering what the difference is between The Rise of Dragon and Fire and Blood, think of The Rise of the Dragon as a deluxe reference book in which Westeros' most infamous family and their dragons come to life in partnership with some truly incredible artists. Fire and Blood was scribed as a grandmaesters accounts of the events from Aegon Targaryen's conquest of Westeros through the infamous Dance of the Dragons, the civil war that nearly undid the Targaryen rule. The Rise of the Dragon will cover the same time period, but is written more as an encyclopedia style, similar to The World of Ice and Fire. And the same authors and artists who did that are coming back to do this. So The Rise of the Dragon is perfect for fans steeped in the lore of Westeros, as well as those meeting the Targaryens for the first time on the HBO series House of the Dragon. The book will be available in October 2022. So yeah, both those covers are pretty awesome, to say the least. And I already pre-ordered it. I think it was $60. So, and I think the Kindle version, if you want to go the digital route, is significantly cheaper. I think it was maybe like 25. Not entirely sure on that one, because I did the physical version. But without even touching it, I would probably recommend it just because I loved the World of Ice and Fire book, and this is going to be the same thing. It's like a bigger book. So really cool. So just wanted to pop on here, share that, and think, hey, that seems to be a pretty good time for us to get House of the Dragon, October 25th, around the time that this book is coming out. So let me know what you guys think. Are you going to pick up the book? And does October maybe make sense for when we finally get the show? As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And remember that winter